welcome back to our channel. Before we get started, click that like button, turn notifications, give all a huge thumbs up.
Hi, my name is Ina Irby. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a life coach, I'm a mom. We went over philosophy today and having your own philosophy on life. And so I thought I'd share with you a couple of things that have happened to me. I ended up getting involved in another cult group, and I didn't really know what I was getting involved with. I had red flags, but they weren't like one ex-sister said, I can help you talk to dead people. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody who's dead. So it wasn't like that. It was very soft and, oh, this is what we're learning and we're going to talk about the Bible. And it's a prominent man that is on YouTube. So I thought, okay, I never really looked at all of his videos. I saw one, but I wasn't an avid video. I didn't see his videos. I'm trying to get that across to you. I had some red flags. When I first started, I had noticed that when I got there, everything seemed copacetic, and then they started arguing about prayer and women and head coverings, and that was a red flag. A lot of the group dispersed because some of them the group did not agree that women shouldn't have a head covering while praying. Okay, a red flag. I had heard that they wanted to make rules, and some of the chosen men or prominent men that were heading it up, one of them had said, oh, it's too bad these ex-Jehovah's Witnesses have gone back to heathen holidays. And I'm like, oh, whatever, that was just frustrating. Another red flag, because you can't really control other people's families. I came from a background where my husband was atheist. One of the prominent women said, I despise atheists. Okay, well, we're supposed to love even our enemies, right? As Christians, we're supposed to love even our enemies. So, red flag. And she came from a family of atheists, along with I came from where my husband is an atheist. And we're supposed to love our enemies as a Christian. That was frustrating. That was hard for me. Rules were told that needed to be made. And I thought, that doesn't work. We already know that. These were already elders that were making themselves elders in the group again. So we couldn't really question the authority. And when I did, I was dismissed. So that was hard. I got an email. Some of the group got an email. And one of the prominent women was abused prior to coming into the group. Making a long story short, she had a consenting physical relationship with one of the head men. They were not married. None of our business. Fine. I don't care. That didn't bother me at all. What did bother me is what she told me, which was that this was a private affair, and that the head man or the head elder sort of had said that they needed to go before elders and make a vow before each other. And then again, they were to vow in front of these men, although they had no intention of getting married. She lives in one country, he lives in another. It just seemed absolutely ridiculous. And poor little thing, she even said she felt terrible about the whole thing. She had to go before a group of men, and it felt just like the J-dubs and how they treated people that needed to confess. So this was not something that's told to the group. This is just privately done. And I told her I would never, ever, ever go through that again. And I was terribly disappointed with the head guy who knew this woman had been in an abusive relationship. So the next thing I know, marriage is redefined by one of the prominent men. Most of the time, most Christians define marriage as with a man and a woman, right? And then they are together. That's how they define marriage. And this prominent man defined it how it was done in Israel some thousands of years ago. And so, yes, the redefining of marriage, reestablishing of the Christian congregation. Red flag. It took a while. I saw all the red flags. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because my brain made a lot of allowances, but a lot of pings went on, but I didn't listen to them. And the importance of knowing that you can get right back into a cult type of group think relationship when you come out of the organization. You want lots of love, you need lots of support, and granted, there are groups out there that will do that for you, but the importance of not going back into something that I went back into, and that's why I'm saying it, is because again, I saw abuses that were done, and not everybody had the comfort of going to these men and saying, hey, what you did was not right, to the woman in the situation, because she was abused. You hands off. No one touches a woman that has had these things happen to her. In fact, she should be treated with gentleness and kindness, and help her get to some sort of psychological help, and that was something that I had addressed with the head man. I said, I'm worried about her mental state. Is she going to commit suicide after everybody knows about this? Oh, well, a dismissive attitude. It was really disappointing. And the reason why I'm saying it is not so that I can badmouth anybody. It's because I did it again. I did it. I saw the red flags and I did it again because I wanted comfort. I wanted succor. I wanted to know about the Bible. Get a book. Got it? Get a book. A History of God, the 4,000-year quest of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Got it? Super simple. Just get a book and do it on your own. It helps you understand where it came from. And this is a woman who was a nun, and she too had a hard time with her belief system. So she eventually leaves, but she becomes a scholar. The Future of the Mind has been very helpful for me. Michio Kaku. It's the scientific quest to understand, enhance, and empower the mind. It kind of breaks down why our minds make excuses and why we as human beings always need to know the answers, and sometimes the answers will never be found, not exactly the way we want them, and we don't always find the answers the way that we would want them to be defined. I noticed that the individuals that I went in this group with were more emotional. I thought we were going to go into encyclopedias and break down certain things and go into a scholarly view of what the Bible was about. I was deeply disappointed, actually. And the books that I'm encouraging you to get are not easy reads. They are deep. And I realized, I think Germ had said, as Jehovah's Witnesses, we kind of we take just the candy parts of things, and we just don't really go deep into really smart books that are made by people who've done a lot of work to try and figure out the brain or the history of God. and where it came from and how it affected mankind. So I will put some links down. I also have links to Families Against Cult Teachings. That was very helpful. And when groups redefine things, I noticed that when I had a private conversation with the abused woman, she said, well, I was told that you were chosen. I'm like, I'm not chosen. I am not chosen. And yes, I took the sacraments, right? But it wasn't because I thought I was chosen. And that bothered me. So another red flag. So as a human being to another human being, this is what I've done. And I wanted to confess that to you because maybe it'll help you not to do and make the same mistake. I think that Bible knowledge is very important, but as Miss Armstrong explains in her book, Christians through the centuries have redefined or re-established the Christian congregation through many, many centuries. And that could be very dangerous to people who are very vulnerable. How's that? So I'm going to put links below. I am enjoying being. I haven't been to that group for quite some time. And it's been just very refreshing. And I'm just enjoying my life and learning, getting a fresh perspective on what I was told. And yet now I have a different perspective, and I realize that I can have my own philosophy. And I really appreciate that. I'm not going to have to abide by any rules, nor do I will never do that to myself in a groupthink situation. Again, I can't say I will never. How's that? I will always be aware. I want to always be aware of a groupthink situation. And now I have a lot of tools in order for me to be able to do that. I also wanted to make sure that, the point of all of this is that that person, that special person that I care about, doesn't feel badly. That was the whole point. I just feel like that was the whole point. I wanted to protect her. And if she happens to even ever talk to me again, because I'm sure she probably wouldn't ever want to talk to me now. She was avoiding me. It doesn't matter. It's fine. I was kind of quietly disfellowshipped, pretty much. I have a link. Monica Lewinsky. I happened to listen to her, Monica Lewinsky, and she was probably one of the most vilified individuals in the United States, and ostracized and plagued with all these horrible words because of what people thought she did as an individual that was wrong. And it took such great strength on her part to become who she is today. And despite mistakes as individuals, I think we can always rise above our mistakes. I hope this helps you on your healing journey, friends. Follow your bliss and be good humans.